Guys, this video is going to be about the Dunning Krueger effect in homeopathy. So, the Dunning Krueger effect is absolutely observable when it comes to people learning or studying homeopathy, whether it's laymen or professionals. So, as most of you probably know, the Dunning-Kruger effect is when somebody obtains a small amount of knowledge, they become highly confident that they have acquired everything there is to know. This is called the peak of Mount Stupid. And after a while, when you absorb a little more knowledge, you realize you don't know anything. That's the valley of despair. You learn a little more, you start to become more confident again, and then you become an expert in something. So, people who learn a little homeopathy tend to become completely Dunning Kruger people. They basically are not able to accept any kind of advice or training that one might give them, or even I might give them. And I have observed this many times. People are basically not refuse to listen to anything somebody with a higher with a good knowledge of homeopathy says. Uh, there are many examples of this. One is that there is like a something called clinical homeopathy, where homeopathy is dumbed down and is given like allopathic medicine, like based on a diagnosis to suppress symptoms. And unfortunately, that is being that is like in the public, not in the public in public discourse. It's basically um, becoming the official form of homeopathy. So when you try to talk to people that clinical homeopathy is dumb, they basically respond with aggression, insults, ad hominems, and that is because they have no idea about the depths of homeopathy. So homeopathy is a serious science, at least classical homeopathy is. So the traditional form of homeopathy, um, and it's very, very complicated. But of course, people in the state of Dunning-Kruger don't want to become aware of that. They don't want to know that homeopathy is a very serious science. They want to settle into a mindset where they have the easy answers, right? So clinical homeopathy says that it's very easy to cure anything with homeopathy. You just give the remedy based on the diagnosis, and they have a list of remedies, a list of pathologies, and then a list of remedies that you can give for that, and then that's it. And well, it might be understandable that people want to live in a world where we can cure diseases like that, and that's another reason why people want to remain on Mount Stupid. But unfortunately, homeopathy is much more complicated. So we also have cease therapy, which is giving is a protocol for autism in homeopathy, which is also probably, I haven't tried it yet, but it's probably nonsense. And also, if you try to explain to people that cease therapy is a dumbed down form of homeopathy, they will respond with name calling and aggression and well, they're impossible. It's impossible to convince them that homeopathy is more complicated, and it's a very complicated science where you have to analyze a patient. You have to analyze a patient holistically in the totality, and you're matching very complicated remedy patterns to the patterns of the patient, and that has nothing to do with protocols or clinical homeopathy or anything like that, right? So just look into that, right? Don't settle into a very narrow view of the world. And this applies for everything, not just homeopathy. Don't just settle into like a limited state of enlightenment, because there's always more, probably. The world is very complicated. So that's all we have for today, and thank you for listening. If you would like to do a homeopathic consultation with me, you can get in touch by email, Telegram, Signal, or Simplex, and you can find those in my channel description.